There. Look! The sun is returning. I'm a little late, sorry. No, we're not in the village. It's too cold to be outside down there, but we'll try it again on next Sunday, by the way. So the village is right around that little bend there. This is actually an avalanche. So it's right around there is where the Viking village is, and then the next stop is the fjord. So we're just up E16 slightly. How is it where you are? Are you keeping warm? This is minus 10 Celsius, so it's about 18, 17 Fahrenheit. But you can see the mountains outside now. So Karl isn't brave enough to be outside right now. Hello, bus. Because we just had a tour at 4 o'clock that finished at 5:15. And he was out there guiding and swinging for the most of it while I'm just sitting there holding a gimbal and looking pretty. So he's warming up, and then we'll go in and join him in a little bit. So happy winter vacation for Eastern Norway. Do you guys, when does school break start for US, etc., Canada, where you guys are? It's so pretty though. And the sun, we saw it. I took a picture. It's just skating the end of the valley. Actually, now we're pointing in the opposite direction of the sun though. I just realized my phone might be reading my Wi-Fi. No, I turned it off. Okay. So in case I have an issue with link. But that whole big hill there, from about there and all the way down to the road, that's actually avalanche rock, avalanche mass. You can see it goes all the way to here. All those little dots there, those clusters, those are trees, pine trees. And they go all the way up. Those are pine trees up here too. So I'm gonna walk around the corner here and I'll catch up on chat a little bit. But I thought you had to see the mountains. My neighbor in the house here, oh good thing he's got his headphones on. This is a duplex. We are on this side right now and he's on this side. And he's probably wondering why I'm talking to myself outside his window. There, okay, now I'll catch up on chat while you got this beautiful view. Garcia's here, hello from Windswept Holland. Windswept Holland. You survived Eunice. We're still okay here. It snowed like mad, but that's it. But then it's been avalanching like mad for a week. If you go to vikingvalley.com, or no, Viking Valley on Instagram, you can see that a tourist or somebody took a shot of an avalanche that actually went into the fjord. And it looks really big and powdery, so it's quite cool. And he posted a copy of it up there for you to see. Nell is here. I'm trying to get my floor loom to behave. So far, very little success. Okay, I think you need to open a bottle of wine and just bitch with us for an hour. I think that'll be good, Nell. And then you'll have a whole new perspective after a glass or two. Good evening, Peruta. Oh yes, do the thumbs up. Good evening, Torben. Okay, so Torben, I'm going to need some help, okay, because I'm a little lack of material. My kids didn't want to come play. Greg's in England. Haruna had to get back because he's also been freezing for an hour today. We need some Viking-related topics that are going to get Karl really fired up. I don't know, maybe something to make him cry. He's feeling a little too cool for school lately. You'll see what I mean soon. Doro's here in Karsten. Good, hello. Let's see. Peruta says they're on the arse end of winter and the whole season's worth of dog poop is emerging from the snow. Oh no, that's in Russia. Susan Youngman says that it's cold here in the Adirondacks. I'm thinking it's always cold in the Adirondacks, so I can totally feel your pain. No, actually, I don't mind the cold. I just don't like it when it bites. Today it's biting. And good morning, Karin Hollock as well. Karin and Albert. So, I have a funny story to tell. Because my kids are with this weekend, like last weekend as well, that means I can't leave Espy until they're done with school. Hi, Heidi's here as well. Heidi Lisette, hello. And so this means that we have a 5 o'clock staff meeting that I don't get to Gudvangen in time for, so I have to take this in the car. But I also have the cats with me because we're going to be here for 10 days because of winter vacation. Hello, Jenny. So there I am. I got my kids to be quiet in the car. Everything is fine. I start the meeting. I link 4 other people to it. And we're all having this chat, and I've got to listen to it, these things I have to do in the meeting. And all of a sudden, there is the smell of recycled cat food. And it's puke. And I thought, oh, okay, well, that's pretty bad. And then there's my kids trying to make noise. I'm muting my microphone left and right. And it reeks of cat puke. And they're like, we have to pull over and fix it. I'm like, I'm sorry, they're going to have to wait for the meeting to be done. This is about an hour and a half. Okay, things calmed down a little bit. 20 minutes later, the cat food comes out the other end, and it did not smell any better. We're all just dying. I think I had to make people repeat. So there we are for about an hour, smelling cat puke and cat poop, and a cat meowing like hell in the background, and my kids going, Mom, it stinks. Worst meeting ever. I don't know how productive I was. But, so there you go. Speaking of poop. Oh, but look at that. We had sun today. So how have you been productive this week? And oh, I gotta read that. You get a modern garage over there to look at while I read. Okay. The story of Vemund's blåsebelg is hilarious. That one I have to think. Blåsebelg, does that translate to like blow? What's belg? I'm like a blowing burp? No. You have to fix my Norwegian there. See. Oh, Prue just linked the video of the avalanche so you can see it on Instagram. It was really quite cool. It's just the end of one. And then I think Runa also posted maybe one on Instagram as well. It's the same one, but from the side view. It was just a whole a mountain load of snow just fell at once into the fjord. But directly into the fjord. It didn't roll down the mountain into the fjord. It just went poof. There's Karsten. Hello. Torben says the magic noise that Karl goes ape. Oh, I know about that noise. I think if you squeak a card, if you scrape like a deck of cards card in such a way that it makes a squeak, it like nails to a chalkboard on him. Oh, there's Adrian. He's been 2 weeks in Rotterdam now and have been barely able to go outside because of the sheer amount of studying 3 courses brings with him. Well, you also deserve to crack open a bottle of wine and enjoy the last little bit of light in Gudvangen. No, but do you know what this means, though? If we have this much light right now, we can go outside next week, at least for the beginning. Maybe we'll have Runa with us as well, but today it's just too cold and we're trying to warm up after a tour. But yeah, soon we can be outside all the time now. And then by the time we get really comfy outside, they'll change the clocks and we'll have to start all over again. Blåsebelg, bellows. Okay, that's way better than the blowing burp I was thinking he was talking about. The air thingy that they used to blow air into the fire thing. So speaking of, Andres is having blacksmithing courses this weekend in Gudvangen. And we're so much interested, and I think there'll be another one scheduled quite quickly. So if you happen to be in the area and need to take a blacksmithing course, keep an eye out. I think he's looking to make one in March. Garcia said she had quite a few experiences of stuff coming out of them. Yes, those cats. Holy crap. Worst car ride meeting ever. Smile Toda 44 is here. 10 out of week. You got COVID. Oh, you had COVID though. Oh, I hope you had the mild version. So we have friends that Facebook friends, Viking friends that are weightlifters, and they're like the most in shape people I've ever seen. Their whole family gets hit with COVID. One of them ends up in the hospital though, and it's just there's no underlying reason for him to end up in the hospital. So it was just kind of scary. So be careful. We narrowly managed COVID in my house. We had one kid come over and drop off birthday presents for my kid, and then the next day we find out she's sick with COVID. We all test. We're okay. Then the next day the kids come home from school and find out a kid they've been playing with all day just reported that they had COVID. So we all test one more time. But fortunately we tested negative, so here we are in Gudvangen, and hopefully we stay healthy because Karl and I get the vaccine on Thursday and we're supposed to go to visit Bergen. I'm going to bring my kids to terrorize Bergen on Wednesday. Bergen. So how are your narrow misses going? We're at about 17 to 25,000 every day now, and that's of the ones that actually know they got it and registered it. we have more light than southern Sweden for sure. Well, there you go. Well, we have a bit more light than this in Väsby, but that's because we don't have these big things casting shadows in East Sweden, or East Norway, where I'm at. And Adrian has 4 bottles of liquor and a bottle of stout. Okay, you probably 4 bottles of stout. Okay, you probably, you know, maybe 1 or 2 bottles of stout ought to do. You don't want to completely blow off your homework. Oh, but I'm jealous. I miss stout. You made that. Torben made that noise once without knowledge of Karl's reaction to it, and he nearly threw a book in your face. I have to do this. I have to teach my kids this and see if he can be constrained. But yeah, I heard about that one. That was. I also know that people took advantage of that. That Karl didn't like that card scraping sound. Oh, it's kind of getting misty up there. Right in the middle. There's like a big cloud across. Let's see. Ina and Alder have been sick. Oh, hopefully you got a mild version of it. Not even COVID wants to be around Adrian forever alone. Oh, Adrian. Well, it hasn't hit us either. I think right now it's just literally a race to see how long we can go at this point. But I would really like to have had the 3rd vaccine in because we're just eligible to take it now, Karl and I. So we will get it on Thursday, and I would love to have that one sink in a bit, and then maybe I can try a shot at it. Pruda says her whole family in South Africa have tested positive. Mostly just a feeling of a bit under the weather. Thankfully, the adults are all vaxxed. Oh, that's good. Yeah. And the thing is, they all have a relaxed attitude about it now. So in this meeting, I've got the meeting on the phone. The car smells of both cat poop and cat puke. My kids are kind of cranky, and we finally hit Burger King, and we got to go in now. So we go into Burger King, and they've got their masks on. We've anti-backed and everything. It is crowded as hell. And this is in Gol. It's not exactly the biggest city in Norway either. And none of them have masks on. And here I am, paranoid as hell that I'm going to get it and bring it to Gudvangen. Freaking out. Somehow nobody's in Gudvangen's actually gotten COVID yet. So we've managed to elude it so far. But freaked out. And then I see one family comes in after us and they have masks on. So that was refreshing. But then I see 2 employees taking food around to people that are sitting in their dining area, and none of them are wearing masks, and we literally turned around and walked out the door and said, that's it, we're eating in Hemsedal. We're to be much happier. There was a guy standing behind a plastic glass that was serving us our food, and we were the only ones in there. So, but is it just me, or is anybody else this paranoid at this point? Because I think most of eastern Norway around the Oslo area is pretty much given up at this point. I think they've all assumed they're going to get it now. Oh, there's E16, by the way, that road. You can see. So that is the main road that goes from Oslo to Bergen. So it crosses the southern Norway. So I'm still kind of paranoid. I'm sure it's not as bad as I think, but I just don't want to have to be stationary for so long because of it. So, another cat thing. Notice the curtains are bound up. That's because one of my cats likes to scratch and rip curtains to shreds. Better safe than sorry. Okay, Adrian's on my side. Oh, Lindsay got Omicron and felt poorly only for a few days. Now I think that's what most people are getting right now. Torben says it was werewolf main source book, quite big and heavy. Okay. Alright, we're about to go in and bug Karl soon. But wait till you see his new Viking look. It's slightly less than accurate. Jan says you're really nervous about it too. As you say, most people have just seem to go back to pre-COVID behavior now. Yeah, it's like that. I think I don't know, I think I've been living in the bubble of Gudvangen for too long. And then you kind of get used to the smaller amounts and everything. But at least it's not as bad as it was in the beginning, where you literally were going to go into the grocery store, you hold your breath, shop as fast as you can, and get the hell out and anti-back everything, including the packages you bought. I've gotten slightly better since then. Nila says, I think they have let it go everywhere. Omicron is too effective. Yeah, no, I think you're right. The good news is you can come into Norway now. No problem there. You don't even have to quarantine. You don't even have to prove that you've been vaccinated. You can just come in. It's good news for our cruise ships, though. Smile to the 44. I like that. They opened up 100% in East Norway. My siblings got COVID and they're still in elementary. And they were told that if they had a 0 fever, they can keep up and that they can go to class even when positive. You know what? This is true. Actually, if they have been fever free for 24 hours, they're allowed to go back to the school here now, which is why it's starting to run rampant in my kids' class. So far, my kids' class, oops, I just closed that on accident. So far, my kids' class seems to be, well, they're 7th graders out of 1 through 7th grade. They're the only ones that haven't really gotten it. The rest of the classes did, but now they're starting to. Lizzie says, laugh out loud. I have a friend that still does that, and she works as a caregiver. Oh, scary. I did see that around Christmas time. Actually, that was in Selja when we were visiting Karl's parents. Everybody was wearing masks except for one lady in the front of the line, and there she is wearing a hospital uniform, and I thought, freaky. Torben, I find Vikings being described more and more like dandies, obsessed by clothes and hair, kind of French, and less as barbarian badasses. Does Karl agree? Oh, Torben, that'll work, especially when you see his outfit today. I'm going to start with that. You do the anti-backing with the groceries too, so it's not just me. I don't know, maybe it's the OCD thing. I think I've probably made my OCD worse through this whole thing. Oh, yeah, Jenny says it's scary the next mutation is already here. I've heard about that. Wow. Okay, so now it's starting to get too dark to film in that direction. That's where the sun went down. And then we'll pan over one more time. And you can see that it is now getting too dark in this direction too. But it's okay. So now it is, what, about a quarter after 6? So we can get some time in outside, I think, tomorrow. On next Saturday, if it's not freezing cold anyway, but before going in again. All right, so I'm going to go and show you Karl, but because my kids are here and making a mess and decided they didn't want to join, I'm going to put the camera on me while we walk in through the door to our beautiful living room studio. You ready, Karl? Okay. I want to read you something that Torben wrote because we've been finding ways to get you raised up. And I think, considering your current look, this is going to be a winner. Torben says, I find Vikings being described, oops, I have to take my glasses off, more and more like dandies, obsessed by clothes and hair, kind of French, and less barbarian badasses. Does Karl agree? Sit down in that chair, Karl, and we'll see if you agree. No, sit over there. I'm not showing in the big mess my kids made. They decided to paint.
You're looking at them too. If you're looking at them from the view of textile woman number 2 from the left, then obviously you talk more about clothes than intestines.
I'm going to come around because I remember my front microphone doesn't work very well for some reason. Okay, wow, I look beautiful. So, anyone want to comment on the historical accuracy of this Viking? Green glasses don't look so bad anymore now, do they?
You can wear glasses, so can I.
Yep. Well, there you go. I had to take my mittens. Okay, so we found some other good things. Karl, there's a certain sound that drives you absolutely up the wall. Torben says you threw a book at him.
I hit him over the head with... we have the book over there, actually.
Okay. Yeah, it was the werewolf book. So,
Well, cat book, yes.
Do you want to describe this noise and why it drives you?
No, I do not want to do that, because nobody else knows about that noise, Torben. Shut the fuck up.
You mean the one with the card that they scrape? The Viking in sunglasses. Yeah, yours me. So then Karl puts these on. And with his regular clothes, and he looks like a rock star with a hangover, like an old has-been rock star with a hangover. Do you want to tell him the story behind your sunglasses?
These are actually prescription glasses, -2, so I am somewhat nearsighted. I already have -10 contacts, but my eyes are -12.
Yeah.
The line to be legally blind is -10.
Oops, sorry, I'm sitting on you.
So -2 glasses on top of -10 lenses gives me, well, as close as I get to normal vision.
So it's time
So
to see the item.
I've been so used to not wearing any kind of glasses on top of the lenses that I think this is normal until I wear these. Unfortunately, I only had them in this really dark tint. Remember, we have only a tiny little gas station in this valley.
It's the one-stop shopping in Gudvangen.
So my options now are just either to be blind or to look like Stevie Wonder's evil twin.
Too cool for school.
And when I'm not guiding tourists, this is perfectly fine.
Now imagine this Viking also smokes.
Yes.
You look like you just came off of a really bad bender or whatever. We have some chat here. Ooh la la! Look at the Viking haute couture, says Torben. We were talking a little bit about COVID and how I'm freaked out. We haven't gotten it yet though, but I told him the Burger King story and the cat in the car story. The worst meeting ever. Okay. Yep. Jenny said she couldn't wait to see Karl. She saw him now. Peruta says she's finally stopped sterilizing groceries when she got vaxxed. Okay, so maybe that'll calm down a little bit. I did stop sterilizing groceries around spring. I told him in the very beginning, we were like holding our breath, running in the store, grabbing everything we could see, run back out, and then anti-back everything in sight. Yeah? After. Okay. Let's see. Heidi says, Viking and sunglasses. This is the one thing we try to get people not to do in the village. We can understand you need glasses to see, but not that.
There is a difference between the village proper and home and office.
Mm-hmm. He's wearing half a wolf.
No, it's a sheep.
It's a sheep. So you're a wolf in sheep's clothing?
Yes.
I'm so smart. See what I did there? There's a cat that wants to climb up on you.
Fussy.
This
Fussy.
is the cat.
Come.
You gonna go up there? No, you're no longer fun. Anyway, but that was the stinker. Let's see. What do we have here? There's some good comments in here. Oh, Aunt Bonnie, she's COVID protected ×3 and was tested 6 times due to going to the hospital. Oh, they have lifted the mask. Really, the hospitals have lifted the masks, and the bars and eateries are open too. Good luck. Yep, no, we were talking about my paranoia.
Yeah, no,
But the hospitals have lifted the mask ban too?
I
I don't know if they've done that here, but then United States they must have.
In a hospital, you probably want to keep it, but
I would do that. Oops.
I don't think that's what she said. If
I can read it again. I might have read it. No. It's charging. Let's see. We'll put this back down. I forgot to find something to put the gimbal on, so it's bouncing all over. She said she's COVID protected ×3. We will be on Thursday, and was tested 6 times due to going to the hospital. They have lifted the masks, and the bars and eateries are open too, and the bars and the eateries are go to too. Yeah. I did have to have an X-ray yesterday. I'm fine. They had masks on. I was happy about that.
She is saying that the mask restriction is gone. She is not saying that the mask restriction is gone from hospitals.
Oh God, I hope not. Okay, good. Then we're still covered there.
Yeah, you can't hang around in hospitals until this pandemic is over, woman.
I don't want to do that. No, actually, they won't even used to show up at least 15 minutes to your appointment. They would encourage it. Now they're like, we'd like you to stand outside the door until the minute your appointment starts. Then you can come in. There he is. Now he's Karl the cool cat. I think your image of a big tough guy is, I like that the cat's showing you his stinky end. What did you do in the car, cat? Okay, I'll let you pet the cat and I'll read a little bit more here because there's some more fun ones. If I could see that far, because I need new glasses too. Lindsay Langley, dude, I didn't know they made contacts that strong.
Yeah, the problem is that I don't make them any stronger than that, or at least they didn't used to.
No, so there you go. The Vikings Blues Brothers, says Torben. We have to do the dance. The Blues Brother dance? Everybody else knows what the Blues Brothers dance is.
Yes, but everybody else cares about music more than me.
It's a movie.
Yes, but it's a music movie.
But it's good. It's they've got a half a tank of gas. They've got sunglasses. What is it? How does that quote go? It's something. We have half a tank of gas and we're wearing sunglasses. They got God on their side. I don't know. Some seriously good quotes that come from that show. John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, I think. Karl's eyes have even worse vision than mine, says Pruda. She's -8. Wow, you're worse than me, though, Pruda. Mine are -675, though, although we might be fighting with that number a bit. Oh, I have some seriously windblown hair here. Looking very swish. I like that one. You swish. You're going to have to read that comment from Pruda. See that? Right there? Read the comment from Pruda.
Yeah,
The one that starts with, oh my God. Did you read it?
Nope, my eyes are not that good.
Karl, patting his crotch and calling for pussy. I think that's the comment of the day. She beat you, Torben. You have to one up. Or maybe not. Just remember the polar bear. Nell, I would have guessed that he's lost his regular glasses or broke them. Yeah, that could be an interesting. I think right now we just have to give you a cane with a little red tip on it, and or the Danax with a red tip, and you can walk through the village. Hold your hat in your hand and see if you get any tips.
Or I could just get glasses with clear glass, as somebody was supposed to buy me on the way here.
I did. Everything they had was plus, so we have to go to Bergen.
Yep.
I went into one store, freaked out, and left. No. No, I didn't. I went into a glasses place. I thought maybe they'd have them, but there was only prescription. So the best I could come up with is Claes Olsen, and they only had plus. Apparently people don't do negative. But I did find a pair exactly like that was -3. Sunglasses.
Yeah, no, -2 is fine.
It was either that or I think My Little Pony sunglasses too, with no prescription change whatsoever. They were sold in the same section.
That would be fairly pointless, wouldn't it?
I would think so. That was for kids. Hospitals still demand masks and only one visitor is allowed. Okay, that makes sense. There was another appointment I had to go to. Okay, so nearing 50. So in Norway, they call you in for mammograms when you're hitting near 50. I think after a certain age also, it's you get your cervical cancer tests anyway, and they call you in every other year for this. It's a really great way of staying on top of it, and it costs like 200 to 300 kroner for the test, so it's totally worth it. So I go in for my first mammogram because they decide now that I'm 50, I'd like to remind them I have 8 months left. But now that I'm 50, I can get one. But that one was one of those two where they wouldn't let anybody. If you have anybody who's sitting there waiting with you, they have to wait outside. They couldn't be in the waiting room even. So you don't get a visitor while you're having a mammogram either. Not even in the waiting room.
Is that something they used to do?
No, I hope not. I don't know. I didn't need my handheld. I was a big girl. And I just lobbed it right up there and let them squish it. Cancer-free, by the way. So there's a little TMI. Now that's gangster, writes Adrian. I think, which part? Karl in that outfit and then petting a cat on my mom's quilt. He's a stinker. Okay, we need some Viking stuff to really make Karl get all worked up because it's so funny. Smiley says, over here it's to each individual hospital if they want to wear the masks. Oh, wow. And some serious fluff going on there, says Jenny. Cat. Garcia says, on February 25th, they were giving the restrictions in Holland, and I'm terrified of getting infected. See, you too. It's good. These are my people. they understand. I walked into a Burger King and literally turned around because I freaked out. I just told my kids, and we're like, we're eating in Hempstead. You have to wait 30 more minutes. I would have eaten at a grocery store at that point. It was. Ugh, I will get better, maybe. So what's everybody Nalbinding? Good. Show me what you can't show me what you're Nalbinding, but you have to tell me what you're doing. I have made this much more progress on the thing. If Karl holds that, I can go and get it. And you can, Karl?
Yes?
Were there Vikings in 750?
Not in England.
Did any Vikings exist before, in 792?
By the Norwegian definition, 750 is the start date. But not by the English one. She is trying to get me off to the same rabbit hole that I've been in before. But we all know what that rabbit hole looks like, so I'm not falling for it. She has to find a new rabbit hole for me.
Did they have Vikings in 1067?
She is trying to do the same thing, just in the other end of the time scale. We have to get her to be a little bit more creative than this.
Did they have Vikings in 1252?
Nope, she is just pulling numbers out of her butt now. 1252 was an interesting one, because one serious contender for an end of the Viking Age is 1245.
Yeah?
And most Scottish people would agree on that one. But,
I kind of like how you're holding the thing. Let's see. I can get it turned around. Still Nalbinding a sweater. Lots of spinning, though, says Garcia. That's going to take you a while, but I'm impressed that you're taking that on. I don't think I've ever tried other than the Oslo stitch and a really fat yarn for a sweater. I started doing one and finished 2+2, and I think it's so long. Yenny C said she has finished with a hat in very thin yarn, but a specific color request. And that was the only yarn I found. Oh, which stitch did you use for the really, really thin yarn? And how long did it take you to make the hat? And of course, one more question. Did you start from the top or the bottom? Because I noticed if I make a hat with Oslo, I can finish fat yarn in Oslo. I'm done in 4 hours or less. But finish 2+2, that can easily go several days in thin yarn.
that's what she said.
I'm female. And I said it.
Yes.
I'm still, okay, I'm a little further. I've rounded the edge off now. You have to hold it again because I don't have a stable thing high up enough. There, it's just started to round the edge. And this is that Skansen stitch, which I see Yenny had to do. She made a test. She said she wasn't going to do it. She was too busy, and I saw she did it. Oh, so I just started rounding the edge. But it looks quite cool. Like if you've got, there you can see the stitches. Somebody actually mentioned, and I didn't think about this before, but they said that those stitches look a little bit like stavmasker in Norwegian, or double crochet in English. You kind of, yeah. Anyway, if you know crochet, and it almost kind of does if I, let's see, I have a pencil here. If you start from there to there, it does kind of look like double crochet. It's not when you look at it side by side, but I can see where they got it from, maybe if I look at an end row. But when they work together, they do. It's not the same. Crochet and needle binding, not the same. Anyway, so I'm going to be working on this for a while because it's M2, where you're picking up from the middle row. And every single time I do that, I have to kind of like whip I have to, well, I'm holding it this way as I do it, but I have to actually kind of like tip up, do that, and then go back behind my hand again as I do it. I have to move my hand like this every time, so it takes a little while longer. Okay, let's see what everyone else is doing here. Getting choked by my hood. Yenny, she started from the bottom, finished 2+2. Ha! It's a good stitch. I like that one. It kind of goes faster considering the thin stitches, or the denser ones. Took her about 2 weeks though. Interfered a lot. Yeah, I'd like to say with work and everything, I'm happy if I can do one of those within a week with yarn that thin. But it could. I think the last one took a lot longer. But then again, it's work. And yes, she had to try the Skansen. I think Sanna's just going to have to change the name of that to Skansen stitch now. But yeah, she had to try the Skansen stitch. Still amazed that it's not been recorded anywhere else. I know. And that's in your home country of Sweden, where they did it. Was it, somebody called it, I think it was Slöjda stitch as well. But it's in the Skansen Museum. But it's quite cool, but it's literally just Broden M2. But I like it. Okay, Karl, snorted any chlorine gas lately, or did you drop that habit?
I'm trying to quit.
He said, looking like a druggie.
This is kind of embarrassing because my background is actually a laboratory technician. I should know what's dangerous and what happens when you do A to B. But back when me and Torben went to the Teachers Academy, and
Okay.
chemistry, science as such on the Teachers Academy is like, okay, these people care about languages, these people care about society, they care about music. They do not understand science even a little bit. Your average teacher would, their own pupils can run around them at about 7th grade because they just don't get it. So obviously the demands at the Teachers Academy when it comes to science is laughable. They are
Good job, Torben.
what you could expect from really, really stupid people who can't pay attention. So one of our fairly simple experiments is to use electrolysis on
Electrolysis.
ferrous chloride, so iron chloride. Well, what do you think would happen if you try to use electrolysis on this salt? You notice a ferro-like substance on one electrode, and you see it starts bubbling around the other electrode. And somebody on a neighboring table says, "It smells like a swimming pool in here." Yes. No, yeah, we are producing chlorine gas. Yes, I understand. It's, by the way, the first gas that was weaponized and used as a chemical weapon during the First World War. It's not something you want to breathe in.
How you doing?
So what you do, obviously, to confirm that it's actually chlorine gas that you're producing,
You sniffed it.
is this.
Do that again, Karl, with it out with those glasses on. That cat. Go ahead, do it again. Oh, you're totally just
And
through it.
that's a mistake you only do once.
And what was the aftermath?
I lost my sense of smell for about a day.
Only a day?
Um,
Your mother's convinced she's lost hers for 20 years now, ever since she took a flu vaccine.
yes, but my mother is...
You sure it wasn't chlorine?
special.
I love his mom. Let's see, I'm going to try to put this down again. Now we might be looking up his nose, but then it won't be shaking all over. There we go. But I can sit down and read chat a little better without sticking my nose too much into it.
So you want to be on the floor again?
Well, I can see better on the floor, and then I might be able to needlebind too. Okay. Oh, we can see what people are making. Lindsay's working on a cloak or a hood. Oh, that'd be fun. Like a, well, this is my hood. I don't know if you can see that there. So I kind of tried to make one based on that when I did make one, but it's a bit more turtleneck-like. When I needle-bound one. Hard to get a hood on when you have a big chopstick in your hair. Those are gonna be fun. I like making hoods with needle binding, but a cloak, that's a lot of work actually. You'd have to be at least elbow length or so when it's, or hip length maybe. Okay, I gotta read that one after. I think I read that one out of order. Let's see. Adrian says, in 160 miles to Chicago, we got a full tank. Yeah, that's it. It's 160 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. Blues Brothers. Can you read that, Karl?
I believe you.
No, I know. I just want to see you say it with those glasses on. Sorry, I'm still trying to get down on the ground. There. There. My foot got stuck on the table. Okay. Pancake boobs! I don't know. I just like that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's probably because you were talking about the mammography.
Oh, yeah, it was the mammogram. Yep, yep. Now if I can
At
check that
least
off my
that's
list of things I've done.
At least that's the only thing I can see that would make it somewhat in context.
No, I think you're right. Okay, no, that would be it.
But it's also a very good insult.
It is. I think it could be back. They used to be bouncy. I was sending Karl gifts of flat boobs and rubber duckies getting squished. Anyway, I told him kiss him goodbye, and then I went to my appointment. Okay, I want to see these projects here first, and then we'll get back to the other ones. And then we'll get to... Ooh, that's a good question that Emily had. I'll bring that one up. Let's see. RX is making breakfast and tea, 9 a.m. Good morning, Karin and Karl. Roger. Ah, it's Roger. Hey, he made it. He's usually watching afterwards because he is in Huntington Beach. That's a bit of a time zone change. Doro says she's sewing 2 tubes to stuff with the wool to keep the wind out of the doors. Oh, that is a good idea. You have to post that on on the Facebook group when you do, because I don't think I've actually seen anybody post those anybody make one of those in needle binding and post it before. So it's kind of fun to see when somebody's making something other than everyone else, something that's not thought of. Like I think it was Brigitte once who had made a she null-bound a seat cover for her bike, and it was one of the coolest things I saw. I was like, okay, well that's not a hat, mittens, or socks. So it's really fun to see when somebody has something different on there. So you have to definitely post that one. I think it also helps inspire people to think a little bit outside of the winter box too. Okay, so if you got any other projects, you'll have to put them up there because I'll look for those, and then I'm going to backtrack a bit. And Garcia said the cowl that she made ended up being wavy. Hellas. Well, you can cut it, or you could just really make it even wavier and just kind of go for that whole ruffle look. That would work, or make it super long and go cloak, and then it'll kind of straighten out. Dora says she used linen cloth, but one could needle bind them as well. Yeah, I think you should do it. You might have to line it with linen cloth, and to make them heavy, sometimes they fill them with cat sand. So you'd have to put some sort of a bag in there. You love the embroidery on my hood. Oh, it's being repaired now too. So this is the embroidery on my hood. But as you can see, it's starting to get worn out on the edges here, like the stitching is coming up there as well. It used to be blue on the edge, so I started reapplying in it. So now there's the blue been reworked. I have to find the purple yarn yet. You can see how much the color has clearly faded in the last 6 years of having this hood, because nothing looks as blue as it's the same wool. It's the same skein. And anyway, but I'm glad you like it. It's not historically accurate. I think that they had this much blue or embroidery on that we know of, but the pattern is Mammen. I just did different colors intentionally. But I'm glad you like it. And it's also good if you make a pattern that's going to go all the way around to kind of do the math to make it work out. I kind of winged the ends here. But I didn't. I was only going to do it in the front, and then I decided I was having fun with it, so I just kind of went around the whole thing. But because I wasn't planning for that, we have a little error in the pattern here, because it wasn't meant to go around that many times or that many repeats. So, but nobody seems to notice it, or at least they're too polite to tell me unless I point it out. But I kind of like that it's like that. Let's see. I'll get you Karl back here, and then I got to read some of these things up here because there's some fun things up here for you too, Karl. Let's see, it was a little bit further up. There was 2 questions. Okay, Torben says, oh, bag in purple and gray is what is Emily's making. Oh, cool. Nice to see you again, Mr. Bond. Who's Garcia? Okay, so Torben says, when did the last Viking die? I think he's still alive.
Very much depends on your definition of a Viking. If I'm making a kind of facetious argument, the guy I keep calling the last Viking is Harald Harada. Harald Harada is a Christian king of Norway who tries to take England and is killed in the process. So being a Christian king of one country, trying to take the country of another Christian king, is then Viking activity. And by that logic, there are probably still Vikings in South America. Because nations go to war and try to take other nations. Napoleon Bonaparte was a super Viking.
I kind of like watching you give all these facts with those glasses on. It's kind of just like it's kind of cool looking. Okay, and there was another one here.
So maybe Saddam Hussein was the last Viking? Is the last?
You think Saddam Hussein was the last
no,
Viking?
No, Vladimir Putin.
Vladimir Putin is the last Viking.
Yes, and he is certainly going for another round.
Another round. Oh, there you go. My cat found a paper bag that needed to be destroyed over there, so it'll be a little bit loud in the microphone, I think. Viking question though, but this was good. Emily, etchings in the teeth. We actually had this conversation recently. But there was actually kind of different etchings in the teeth. There was one that was found behind like incisors, like I was telling you about. But you're referring now to the ones that are straight across the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's several rows sometimes.
Yeah, usually there is one or two.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
One common theory for this is that it's some kind of warrior brotherhood markings. And that they might have been colored red so that they are very recognizable. So as soon as you open your mouth, you basically show people your rank maybe and what group you belong to. That is possible. Another one is that it is some kind of craft where you're basically working with something up here that strikes against your teeth and makes these indentations.
That's the one I think that was discussed about, the one that went behind this tooth.
It seems...
But it was behind the tooth though, so it was just as if you were...
that's not the same thing though.
Okay, what are you thinking?
It seems a little bit too regulated and too purposeful to be... it is... I would say it is probably cosmetic, but drawing the conclusion that it's a warrior brotherhood that marks their people like this might be a little bit premature. I believe it is mostly or exclusively found in man. I'm not entirely sure about that, but that would kind of support something like that.
Well, the one that went behind the eye tooth, that was women, I think, and they were talking about for breaking the thread.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
So something entirely different.
Yeah, there's two different etchings when I think of it, but one is the groove that was made from that, most likely, and then there's the berserker-looking thing that you found with the... that was the males.
Yeah, no, if... you can sometimes tell by a skeleton what kind of occupation people had. So the classical example is for the 100 Years' War, when you find mass graves, the English archers are very recognizable because the connection points for the muscles on their right hand are enormous, because they had a much stronger right hand than the left. Because when you're using the bow, you just hold it steady with your left hand on the straight arm. It doesn't take a lot of muscle power. But pulling it back takes a lot. So they're kind of lopsided.
Did they find out that one female grave actually could have been a shield maiden of some sort based on the muscles or the bone wear?
I don't know about this.
Oh, okay.
There is a lot of women in weapons graves, but I've not heard about a particular study about their bones.
No, I was thinking, I don't know if I'm sure about that or not, or where I read. I thought maybe it was one of Holger's links, but it could have been. Okay, so you got some more questions here too, but I'm gonna scroll up and see if I missed any, because I kind of skipped a few things here. And the cat is like, what the fuck? That's right, you tell him.
He's somewhat angry today.
Yeah, like...
He had a pretty bad day yesterday.
What did we do with the stinky cat?
He had your kids give him a shower.
They had fun, so two 13-year-old girls trapped in the shower with a cat, spraying water on it like mad. They did a good job cleaning him up, though.
He's usually very enthusiastic when he sees me in the morning, but this morning he was hiding under a shelf, so I didn't see him until I incidentally walked right into him. Didn't want to say hello.
Lindsay said, back to the chlorine thing, she used to work as a lifeguard in the city pools, and we had more than one story about pool techs passing out in the machinery rooms. It's a very relaxed kitty. Karl has that effect on the cat. I don't know how he does it. Oops, wrong way. My kid is trying to coax the cat off of Karl's lap, but it's not working. Let's see. I saw there was some more here. I think I went a little too far back. Oh, hi Karin, lovely ornament. Thank you. I'll go cloak, thank you. Okay, Garcia's gonna do the cloak. I think the ripple will even out because if you were gonna go from a cowl to a hooded cowl to a cloak, you're gonna have to, you won't be able to move your arms. You have to actually continue to increase further down, not just to the shoulders. So I think a cloak will even out quite a bit. And actually, even if you have that wave effect of the ripple, it'll be a nice roomy cloak as well. It's a lot more work, but oh, that will be so cool. Oh, Bente Schoberg is here. Hey, you have to come back to Gudvangen, Bente. We're already starting to book houses, so come for the summer. Let's see, I think I have to see a little bit more correct here. There was some more anyway. Karl is kind of a Bhagwan Osho vibe right now. Yeah, he does. I don't know if he'll let you wear the glasses in future ones, but in this one we had to do. Okay, so question to Karl. Do you agree with the Oxford Dictionary, the origin of the word Viking from Old Norse Vik Creek or Old English, let's see, I have to see that a little bit, as in camp dwelling place?
Those are the two that are usually put forward. So Vik means something like bay in Norwegian. The area around Oslo Fjord is called Viken. So one of the...
Which means the bay?
One of the interpretations is that that's the area they originally were associated with or came from. But it might be any vik or bay, so people who hang around in bays. And if you see people moving around with a lot of Viking ships, they will probably be hanging around in bays because bays are natural harbors. The other one is people of camps or camp dwellers, which might refer to riders, because they will obviously not build houses every place just to ride the locals. But it might also refer to traders. And it might be degeneratory. It might be meant as an insult. I live in a proper house, and those guys live in a camp.
Well, you really can't with those sunglasses on.
No. What people insult each other with back in the days is sometimes hilariously funny.
Okay, there was some more. That was a good question, though. I liked that one. I liked that one also with the teeth thing. I remember there was just a study. There was the thing about the eye tooth, having a groove behind the eye tooth like that. That one was passed around quite a few craft groups because they thought it was interesting to see that they were ripping. If you kept ripping the yarn, use scissors, people. But I guess if you keep ripping it like that so much that you could actually put that, and there was pictures of it too, that big a groove into the thing. Tusen tak, Karl says, it's Roger. Garcia says, I'm a bowman and I'm a bowwoman and I used to practice a lot. Yeah, so that, but there you have a thing that you were talking about, how they could tell by the bone structure, or?
The thing I just talked about.
Yeah, no, I was thinking something else, but anyway. So we have about 7 more minutes left, and my kid is hiding over in the corner there trying to coax the cat away from Karl. Let's see. Why is the cat not going to you? Why doesn't the cat love you as much as Karl?
He thinks that going to her is just the same as going into the bathroom and starting the shower on himself. By himself.
It's not working, Alex. The cat doesn't like you anymore. There, she's got the cat. Now, how long is it going to take? I can film you through the light there. How long is it going to take for that cat to run back to Karl?
Oh no. As long as I don't hold him.
Yeah.
If you just snuggle him a little bit, he'll regain the trust, I guess.
So
The cat looks great. Oh, thanks. Everybody thinks your cat looks great. I like the other one that doesn't want to be on camera, the Godzilla one.
Because he smells like cigarettes.
Fuzzy smells like that's probably because the cool one over here has probably been
Come on, the
smoking.
cat is smoking. Haven't you picked up on it? What do you think? Why do you think he wants to go outside all the time, eh?
Hey, so smoking, peyote, all that other interesting thing. Did Vikings do any of that?
Maybe. It's probably not a big part of their culture because then it would have been mentioned in the sagas. And the bloody Icelanders would probably still be doing it in large scale.
Are they now?
Not as far as I know.
Are they pretty good at not smoking there? I'll put her down there. Their volcanoes are smoking.
Yes. And it is possible. There was finds of hemp seeds on the Oseberg. So it is possible that it has been used either ritually or recreationally. But it doesn't seem to be a big part because the Havamal is probably one of the. It's a poem. It's written down in the 1200s, but because of linguistics thingies, I think it might be going back to even before the Viking Age. It's kind of hard to misremember a poem because it has to rhyme. And the Havamal is basically it's something that Måteholdsbevegelsen might have written, or the temperance movement. Be careful with alcohol is basically the main message of the Havamal. If you have guests, don't get drunk and insult them. If you are a guest, don't get drunk and insult people. If you're hanging around with people smarter than you, first of all, don't talk, and secondly, don't get drunk. That's the type of advice you get in the Havamal. So if they had a strong tendency to smoke themselves into oblivion and hallucinate, then that would probably be mentioned. And by the way, before you go into battle, try not to eat the bloody flying soap because it will cause you to have conversations with your
Oh,
soap.
the mushroom, yeah, the fly soap, the type of mushroom. It looks like the Smurfs live in little mushrooms with the little dots on it. That's what flea soap.
Flugesopp.
Flugesopp. It's poisonous as hell.
That's poisonous. That's not the one that. Well, it is possible, but it's. I don't believe the mushroom berserker thing because it's dumb. The only combat drug that actually works a little bit, and with strong caveats on a little bit, is things like caffeine or amphetamine. And the Vikings didn't have access to either one of those. So eating somebody that, like the toadstool is the English name for it, the flugesopp, eating something like toadstool that will destroy your kidneys and kill you is not a good strategy. And eating something like the flying soap or the magic mushroom that will cause you to hallucinate when you're going into battle is also not a good strategy. Because your hallucinations will get you to do random shit that isn't necessarily productive to winning a battle. And it will not make you a better fighter in any way. A little bit of caffeine could keep you awake and alert. A little bit of amphetamine could get you to push beyond your limits. It's not good for you, but I can at least see how this could be kind of useful in a battle. Alcohol, poisonous mushrooms, or hallucinogens, you should absolutely try to avoid.
In this days and age too.
In battle, at least.
Let's see, I'll tilt it up here. It's kind of fun watching you give all these advices and proverbs and things with those glasses on. You just kind of have this like prophet look about you. Alex, what happened to your cat?
He left me.
I think Torian was the one that was asking if it's a Norwegian forest cat. No, it is not, but it's actually a brother or an unknown father situation. My kid's friend's cat got pregnant, and so they're actually brothers, the two cats, if you remember what the other one looked like. The other one has short hair with a lot more white. This one has just a little bit on his paw. But it is actually possible.
Why do you do this?
How well did they wash his butt, Alex? Or Karl?
Not good enough.
As well as a human shower.
But he does look like one, but his fur would be a lot longer if he was Norwegian forest cat, but the ears have the same markers with the hair coming out of it like that. So a lot of people ask, and Tufa loves that cat too. So on the Viking Valley Instagram, you can actually see some pictures of that cat. I think there's even one where Greg's snuggling it too.
That's amazing.
But that is probably the most photogenic cat of the two. Anytime we have him in the village, they will always photograph that one. The other one, like, yeah, house cat, and move on. Okay, so we are running out on time, so we'll see what. Maine Coon would be good, but the Maine Coon would probably be about 5 kilos heavier than that thing and much bigger. There is actually one Viking reenactor that Tullerithiel, I think is the name that she uses. She goes more into the fantasy category now, but she has this reddish hair, and she got a Maine Coon with very much the reddish color as well, and that thing is just huge, and she walks around with that one on her shoulder as well, and that is quite an interesting, impressive looking sight. The Viking Temperance Movement, VTM. I like that. Not many members. I think we should call it the Viking Toadstool Movement. Toadstool makes you lethargic, says Yenny. You also lose control of your bowels, so not very berserky. You might get a really good shot in, but as you exert much force in this direction, you might be exerting some force in an opposite direction.
Rocket-propelled berserker.
Rocket. My kids might have to throw him in the shower after. Let's see if there's anything else I missed here before we call it a day. No, I think we're pretty much caught up then. Okay, so I'm going to have to do some more needle binding next week. And next week we should be able to go outside if we're not flipping cold. We do have a tour right before, so it'll probably be a kind of a rushed thing to get online again. But we should be able to start outside and then go in. Greg won't be here because he's in England. Runa maybe, maybe not.
Maybe. But if it is as cold as today, then I will go inside as soon as I'm done with the tour, and I'm staying inside until I'm warm.
Yeah, in which case then I'll probably start outside a little bit and we can walk around a little. Yay. Back to poop. Yep, it always goes back to the poop. Back. Anyway. But yeah, no, so hopefully I can finish this hat and then I'll have a little bit more needle binding to show, and maybe we'll get Karl to model it. If you did notice last week, though, I still have to post the picture on Instagram though, but I do have a cat that will, a cat, I do, like, actually I wouldn't mind giving away that cat, but he scratches everything. He's photogenic, but he scratches everything. There's a reason we have blankets covering all the couches and the curtains are tied up. But a hat. We're going to give away the hat that's done with Malabrigo yarn, but Karl forgot his hat one day and had to wear it, so we're not selling it in the store. So I will definitely give that one away. What a shitty episode this was, says Peruta. Oh yeah, that one's Zilly on the loom on Instagram. Yeah, the other one, Godzilla. No, so we'll see you then anyway. But yeah, so what we did say, and I guess you could do it on this episode as well, but if you had, you just write in the comments or something like that, that you want to be in for the hat giveaway, and of course you have to like and subscribe because it's a YouTube channel, and I will try to put something up on Instagram too that there's a giveaway for the hat, and we will be going to the end of the month, so there'll be it's about what 9 days left.
This is something you shouldn't give away.
Yeah. Okay, you can hand me the phone and I'll show it. I can't reach that far.
Neither can I.
Okay, there on Instagram is her cat Fuzzy. Tuva took the picture. You can kind of see it there. That's outside the textile house. But he's a very photogenic cat, but no, it is not a Norwegian forest cat, but it looks a lot like one. Just a true Norwegian forest cat would be bigger and have longer hair. Okay, see you Saturday. I will start needle binding. I finally got Greg's Yodas done, so I have time now. You enjoyed the Viking guru. Yeah, I'm going to have to make him take off the glasses next time, though. I think this, you know what it does remind me of? Now back to the 100 episodes. Episode 2, I think. It was when Virginia wanted to do, we were doing the Matrix. There's only one needle. Instead of one spoon, anyway. There is no spoon, there is no needle, and you have to come up with some Matrix quotes. But anyway, you look a lot like you would have fit into that episode pretty easily with that look.
Do I look like something that's deep into the Matrix mythos?
Yes, he does. Now stroke your beard like you do when you're telling the story by the boat. There we go. There we go! Yes, you look like the And with that, we're going to leave. Okay, we'll see you on Saturday at 6. I might be a little rushed, but we'll get there. Bye.